Hello once again, and thank you for joining me for another edition of Electric Avenue's YouTube updates. Coming to you today for the new releases, September 5th, 2025. Got a lot of stuff to show you guys, so it's a moderate week. Usually, weeks around holidays like Labor Day tend to be a little bit less, although last week we had quite a bit, and this week there's quite a bit too. So, get ready. It shouldn't be too long of a video though. So, all right. First up today, as you guys know, if you've been watching these, Rhino Hi-Fi have been going through the motions and putting out a lot of really cool records, doing sort of like almost like audiophile type pressings of them for really reasonable prices, usually, unless you happen to be something like Black Sabbath and your lead singer dies and all of a sudden the price of these things skyrockets. But last week we got Wilco's AM coming out, and this week a pretty big one actually. I think Fleetwood Mac. This is the first album with Lindsay and Stevie. This was the album that sort of put them on the map in a big way, and self-titled, and it's got this really nice thick gatefold tip-on jacket, very nice cardboard sort of thick protective cover, and the music again we have remastered from done at Optimal Media by Kevin Gray at Coherent Audio. He did the mastering, Optimal did the pressing. Everyone says that the Rhino Hi-Fis are some of the best sounding records out there right now, so get a classic this way. This actually features Rhiannon and Landslide, Say You Love Me, some pretty big songs there. Monday Morning. Um, Next week, is it next week? 2 weeks. September 19th, we'll have the Buckingham Nicks album, which came out before this. It was sort of the album that kind of brought Lindsay and Stevie to the attention of Mick and Christine and John. So uh, be looking for that. I think that's going to be really cool. They're doing a blue and a pink vinyl of that, just sort of regular ones, almost like male female editions, and then the Rhino Hi-Fi like this, they're going to have a sort of a nice sort of audiophile pressing of that too. So probably end up being some of the best sounding records in some of your collections. So, all right, let's see. Moving right along, I think the big new release this week probably is the new Big Thief album. They've been steadily growing in interest year after year. The lead singer, Adrienne Lenker, has had some pretty big solo records of her own. So, yet a new Big Thief this week. This album is called Double Infinity, and this is on the limited edition green vinyl for indie stores. And it's kind of an interesting cover. It's really different for them, I think. I haven't heard anything from it yet, so I'm not really sure what to expect, but I don't know. They're usually pretty rootsy Americana kind of stuff, and Adrienne's vocals are very kind of fragile, but then not. It's sort of a Americana, but again, very direct kind of vocals. I would say she has one of the most, it's weird description, but honest sounding voices. Like when she sings, she sounds like she's the real deal. And so, anyway, new Big Thief. Well, pretty exciting there. All right, another big record this week. The new David Byrne of Talking Heads is his new solo record. Who is the Sky? He said in a recent video, they asked him, how'd you come up with the name of the album? And he said, oh, I was just talking to my phone and I was saying, who is this guy? And it came up with Who is the Sky? And he was like, oh, that's a really cool name for a record. So here he is in a suit made out of plastic straws. I've seen Pet Shop Boys do similar, but theirs were all black straws. His is color. And that is a pretty psychedelic cover there. and the back is probably not much less psychedelic there. But Who is this guy? This features guest appearances from Hayley Williams of Paramore. St. Vincent is on this. They've done stuff before. And I believe that Tom Skinner of The Smile plays drums on most of this, or a lot of this. Anyway, excited to hear the new David Byrne. He's got a song called I Met the Buddha at a Downtown Party. Um, Also, Everybody Laughs is a single. She Explains Things to Me is another one. And What is the Reason for It is the song with Hayley Williams. So, all right, a record that I'm really excited about. I've talked about them at length on this channel before, and I can't believe it's their last. They've declared that this is going to be their last album, their 13th album. That is Saint Etienne and their new record, International. This cover weirdly reminds me of a Twin Peaks symbol, by the way, the owl cave symbol, but I know it's not that. But This features the singles Glad, Brand New Me, and Take Me to the Pilot. And they just put out a record last year, this trio. I've been following them for 35 years, and they put out a record last year called The Night. It was very quiet, ambient, very wintry sounding. And they said the next one that followed would be more of a pop, sort of upbeat record. And that's what this pretty much has been touted as. I haven't heard it yet, but this is their 13th album. It says it was mostly produced by them and Tim Powell, who's from the UK production team Xenomania. They sort of are known for things like working with Cher and Girls Aloud, like a lot of pop type groups. But also there were a lot of other people that contributed to this album. They thought that it was a good time to reconnect with their past, since they sort of started in 1990, and called up people like Phil Hartnell of Orbital. One of the guys from the Doves plays guitar. I'm not sure if I think it's Jimmy Goodwin. Also, the Chemical Brothers do production on the first song, or one of them does production on the song Glad. It features guest appearances from Nick Hayward. He does a duet with Sarah. Also, Vince Clarke of Erasure does some stuff on one song. So it's a little bit of like, they had a wish list of people that they wanted to work with, and that's kind of what this is. So I'm gonna miss them if this is their last, but they're one of these bands that, or groups that, continues to reissue older records. So hopefully they'll have a good reissue career going, because there will be more unearthed Saint Etienne gems, I'm certain. Another trio that is two really kind of special trios this week. These guys, and then this trio, Ivy, and their new album, Traces of You. Now, this was a trio that featured Adam Schlesinger of Fountains of Wayne, and Adam passed away during the COVID years. He had some sort of underlying health condition, most likely, but he did not make it, unfortunately. And so Fountains of Wayne was in sort of limbo, and so was Ivy. This is their first album in 10 years, and Dominique, the lead singer here, I think that they were so moved by the loss of Adam, that they were able to go through his files of stuff that he'd been working on, and found a bunch of songs that were meant to be Ivy songs, and sort of worked them up and turned them into a new Ivy album. So he does play on the record, even though he's no longer with us. And this is the first record in 10 years, 10 songs. And they have another guy, I think, who's helping them out now, sort of in Adam's place. So still a trio, but so they're two kind of heartfelt goodbyes. One is a goodbye and one is a return and a goodbye. So another band that I love, that I'm so excited to hear their new record, The London Suede, I call them Suede. This is their new record, Antidepressants. And this is Brett Anderson and Company's band. Um, Again, another band that's been going since 1988, 89, 90, somewhere in there. Really kind of a band that gets sort of credited with, in some ways, with kind of kicking off the 90s Britpop scene, even though I think they sort of transcended it. They're a lot more glam rocky than some of those groups. And Brett's just a really great singer songwriter. And this is kind of more of a post punk direction. The last album sort of went that direction, and this album's even like harder, darker, kind of to meet the mood of the times. There's some spoken word stuff on it, sort of like what Jarvis Cocker does on Pulp Records. Features a few singles here that they've already released: Disintegrate, Dancing with the Europeans, Antidepressants, the title track. Anyway, broken music for broken people. Yeah, I just love them. I think they're great. And they recorded 5 records early on, and then Brett had some issues with substance abuse, and they had to kind of call it quits around 2002, 2003, something like that. He did a few solo records and an album with called The Tears, with Bernard Butler, the former guitarist from Suede. And then Suede sort of rebooted. People, the keyboardist Neil had been sick. People got better. They got treatment, and they've made 5. This is the 5th record now since they've been back together, and they just keep getting better. So their career has been sort of like start really like just exploding out of the gate. The first record of theirs was like the biggest selling debut at that time of any British band. And then it sort of went over time. I mean, they had blips, and then now they're sort of on the upward trajectory again. So it's kind of charming in a way, I suppose. Another great band, Shame, not to be confused with Suede, and this is Cutthroat is the name of it. It's got a bestseller and cult classic, The Ultimate Joyride. This is limited edition Hot Shots vinyl, whatever that means. Um, yeah, so Cutthroat is the name of this album, and it does have the single Cutthroat. The last song's called Axis of Evil. They're sort of in the category of like bands like Viagra Boys, kind of also post punk, but a little bit more maybe humorous than, say, Suede. I don't know. So a little less like Britpop, but still very British. So, and another great record or band here I haven't heard from in a while, The Hotelier, and this is their new album, Home Like No Place Is There. So, not there is no place like home, right? And kind of gives a different feeling to that phrase. Their last album featured a bunch of senior citizens that were naked standing in a road. And I think it was more infamous in some ways for the cover than it was for the music. But New Hotelier, it's been a long time. Limited edition gold vinyl. So, new album from them. A lot of great music this week. Curtis Harding and his new record, and this is called Departures and Arrivals, Adventures of Captain Kurt. And he's sort of like neo soul kind of guy, little throwback soul R&B, just a little bit of light funk, whatever, but more of a soul guy. And kind of interested to see, because this is like a spaceship on it. So I don't know, maybe he's aiming for the future here now, but he's a kind of an edgy guy, edgy, interesting. This is on Anti Records, so new Curtis Harding. I want to say his last one was only like a year and a half, 2 years ago. New Walter Trout album. This guy just keeps cranking them out. Great blues guy. Sign of the Times is the name of this. This is the iconic U.S. Bluesman's hard rocking new album, In the Primal Scream and Pressure Valve We All Desperately Need. Oh, it is the Primal Scream and Pressure Valve. This is limited edition Purple Haze Gold Marble vinyl. And 9 tracks, sorry. 9 tracks there. This is on Pro Vogue and Art Tone label group. Blood on My Pillow. Anyway, Walter Trout, he's one of those tell it like it is blues guys. Grantley Phillips and his new record. This is called In the Hour of Dust, and Clear Golden Smoke vinyl. And Grantley Phillips from Grantley Buffalo, and yeah, he's been writing songs, Americana stuff, alternative rock. 9 songs. He's been around. Again, a lot of these people today have been around for a long time, and some of them I've seen really good reviews for some of these records this week, so might want to check some of these out. New L. Michaels Affair. He usually gets sort of more kind of tagged with hip hop stuff, like the Roots. I think he did. His last record was with a member of the Roots. This one is indie retail exclusive pressing, translucent red color vinyl. It's called 24 Hour Sports, the new album from Grammy-winning producer Leon Michaels, featuring Clairo. Clairo's on this, kids. Nora Jones, Florence Aduni, Shintaro Sakamoto, Roger, and Rasan Roland Kirk. Oh, and Dave Guy. So, kind of a collaborative type record. But yes, Nora Jones and Clairo do feature on the new L. Michaels Affair record. Yeah, the last one I think he did was with Black Thought, maybe. So, Slipknot and a reissue for Slipknot. This is a 25th anniversary of, I believe, the first record, featuring the original album plus rare and unreleased demos and alternate mixes on Jade Color vinyl. So you've got the demos and the alternate mixes here. Wait and Bleed, Snap, Interloper, Despise, Only One, Me Inside, Prosthetics. Those are all demos. You've got Jay Baumgardner mixes of Surfacing, Only One, and No Life. And then Ulrich Wild's mix of Sick, and then Purity and Eeyore at the end. So there are some unreleased things on the second record there. All right, Fish, the Sicket disc. And this is sort of a reissue, kind of. This is the new Albert yellow-orange color vinyl pressing. This is like a 35-minute, almost entirely instrumental live in the studio improv from 1997. This has been out a few times before, but I haven't seen it on vinyl in a while. A Lucero 20th anniversary edition of their album Nobody's Darlings, remastered. It's been a while since I've seen this. Produced by Jim Dickinson. This has 12 tracks. So new Lucero reissue. New Camper Van Beethoven reissue. I believe that this was a Record Store Day reissue, and now it's finally getting back in the stores kind of full time. This one has the tracks Take the Skinheads Bowling, Vladivostok, Where the Hell is Bill, and Club Med Sucks. Oh, and Mad Reminiscences about his days in southern China. Mao, sorry. Mao can't read. Mao reminisces about his days in southern China. I mean, their stuff was kind of fairly humorous, tongue-in-cheek, based in a lot of sort of politics, and then eventually they became the band Cracker. So if you're familiar with them, they played a free show around here recently. So I guess if you pay Cracker enough, they'll come to your town. New Sound of Music. Trying to get these so they're balanced here. Sound of Music picture disc featuring Miss Julie Andrews on the cover. Hills Are Live. It's the 60th anniversary of The Sound of Music, if you can believe it. 60 years. This is their first time it's been on a picture disc featuring Do Re Mi, My Favorite Things, and Edelweiss, among other great songs. The Lonely Goatherd. Let's see here. Couple of Blue Note tone poets this week. A little bit sort of off the beaten path. Don Cherry, and this is his new release with Leandro Gatto Barbieri. So Gatto Barbieri, Henry Grimes, and Edward Blackwell. This is from 1966. It's called Complete Communion. So Don was fairly experimental, and I just read his daughter's autobiography, Nana Cherry's book, and it was interesting how he was such a genius, but yet kept falling into drugs. And as a family, they were always worried about him and where he was. And the fact that he had so many famous friends like John Coltrane and whatever, and then he'd sort of disappear into these other parts of his life, and then he'd come back and he'd be like, a sort of a different person, and they'd have to kind of like, nurse him back to health, basically. But great player, really interesting. And so this is Don Cherry with Gatto Barbieri. I think this might be the first time I saw his name on one of these, or really on one of any of these reissued things. This is mastered by Kevin Gray at Coherent Audio. The other one this week, because I almost always do the tone poets in twos, is Chico Hamilton Quintet. And this one is featuring Buddy Collette. This is actually a Pacific Jazz Records release that Blue Note has gotten the license to. They own the Pacific Jazz catalog now. So we see a lot of these things, and there's some really great recordings there too. This was done in 1955, so man, is this early Chico Hamilton or what? But pretty cool. Looks like a lot of fun. I would need to hear that record. Okay, a couple other jazz reissues from Resonance Records. The best of Bill Evans on Resonance. This sort of focuses on his stuff that Resonance has found. Zev Feldman. He writes a little mini essay here about this stuff, but features Someday My Prince Will Come, Yesterday's, Mother of Earl, You're Gonna Hear From Me, Waltz for Debbie, My Funny Valentine, performances that were done for Resonance. And then Montgomery, Wes Montgomery, Wes's Best, and it's similar situation, an exploration of 5 official Wes Montgomery's discoveries from the Resonance catalog. This one has 4 Bill Evans, sort of unreleased along with other things. So those are pretty cool Resonance Records reissues. Let's see. Oh, and so last week I showed that, or 2 weeks ago, they reissued this Charlie Brown Christmas with kind of this holographic cover. They've also reissued the Snowstorm RSD vinyl edition of this. So it's kind of a white, cloudy white color record that RSD, they'd sort of gone out of print, and by public demand, they're back. And I think because there's some big Peanuts or Vince Guaraldi, I think it's a Peanuts anniversary coming up, that they want to sort of focus on that. Okay, and there were a few CDs I was going to show this week. War, this is a collection of their first 5 albums from 1971 to 75, featuring War, All Day Music, The World is a Ghetto, Deliver the Word, and Why Can't We Be Friends. Probably most of their best music, I think, is in this box. They've had a couple other sets come out recently. New Rob Thomas called All Night Days. This one, I don't know when the vinyl is coming, but we did get the CD. It's kind of a weird picture of him. Him screaming, right? So, but anyway, New Rob Thomas, 11 tracks there of Matchbox 20. A singer named Lucretia Dalt, and this scary cover. which was picked apparently by her collaborator on this, which is mainly David Sylvian. She does have a guest from Juana Molina, but David Sylvian of Japan, this is sort of his new project, being her producer, mixer, engineer. I assume that they must be in some kind of a relationship. I don't know. But he's on this. I heard the song that he features on, and he's speaking sort of like Tom Waits. There's no singing involved. So, but anyway, I'm kind of fascinated as to what this is all about. Some of it is in foreign languages as well. So, but new Lucretia Dalt, and also this is supposed to be coming in on vinyl here. But Pharoah Sanders, Love Is Here, and this is a 2 CD set. This features the complete Paris 1975 ORTF recordings. So, limited edition. It says for the first time ever on CD. And like I said, there will be a vinyl of that coming in as well. Okay. Short but sweet, right? I promised you. I'm going to kind of suspend the recommends for a little bit unless I see something that I really need to recommend. But I think I kind of recommended stuff in particular today. What was the thing I recommended the most? Yeah, probably this bad boy. I'm just kind of heartbroken that this is. I mean, they say, well, we're gonna tour more. We're just not gonna make any more records. I feel like that's backwards. For me, when you get older, you should just keep creating if you can, and maybe not worry about touring so much because it's hard to get out there physically and do that all the time. But I love this record or this band. Can't wait to hear the record. Haven't heard it yet. Heard a couple of songs. They were great, but very sort of British pop. So Sarah's voice just makes me happy. Hopefully she'll do solo records. All right. Thanks, guys. Have another great weekend. Get out and get some good music. I think it's supposed to rain here a little bit. Finally, we just got our first storm here tonight for a few seconds. First rain I've seen in probably almost 3 weeks. So, bit of a dry stretch. Strange for Pennsylvania. I mean, if you're in Arizona, you're probably used to it. So, all right. Take care. Peace, love, and respect one another. Have a great weekend. See you next time.